Hey guys, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have some distressed mixed media tags plus a bonus card for you. And I am so excited about these because I tend to struggle with distressed mixed media. I think I make it more complicated in my mind, but I love the way they look. And let me tell you, these turned out fantastic. Okay, so I started by die cutting my tags. I originally did 4 tags, but I'm only gonna do 3. Some pattern paper from Honeybee Stamps, Spooktacular, some orange cardstock and black cardstock. I am using Simon Says Stamps nested tags. So let's start with these orange tags. This is where a lot of the images are going to be. So let's get some distressing going with black soot, and I'm not worried about it being neat. In fact, I don't want it to be neat. I don't mind that it's a little splotchy. I am looking for like grungy Halloween is what my goal is. On this patterned paper, these are spiders and I love it. I die cut this largest tag out of it and then the next smaller, and then I did a tiny one. But out of this is from this Honeybee Stamps Spooktacular pattern paper, and it's fantastic, you guys. But I am going a lot lighter with the black soot on this because I don't want this to be too dark because I want to keep that light color cardstock. Okay, I'm using some Papertrey Ink images. You guys, these are so cute. This was from their Halloween release. This is the Witch's Brew stamp and coordinating dies. So I'm going to start with the sentiments on the base of the tags, and you get 2 stamp sets in the Witch's Brew. So this first stamp set that I'm using is going to be for the tags, and it has just smaller sentiments and like a smaller cup and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be using. I am also using Ranger's Archival Jet Black ink. That works really fantastic and has a really nice black to it when you're stamping over distress oxide inks or distress inks. So that's why I'm using that. I'm just using my mini Misty, lining them up, getting out the new sentiments. The first one says Me and You and Witch's Brew. This one says Fresh Potions made or ordered. Let's see. Made to order, sorry. And then the last one says, We always have a wickedly good time. The reason why I decided to make these tags for Halloween is because, you know, a lot of times people have Halloween parties or you want to bring your neighbors treats or something like that. You can add these really awesome tags to that, and that's totally perfect. So when I was doing this, I was like, you know what, let me make a bonus card. So you guys hang on to the end. I know this is a longer video for me, but it's totally worth it. So hang on to the end for that bonus card because it is so cute. Okay, I've got that last one finished with my sentiments. Now I'm using Whimsy Stamps Halloween Creatures. We are going to use some oh gosh, what is it called? Distress Grit Paste. It's translucent. I'm blending in some Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide ink. Now I will say I did not need this much paste, so if you're going to recreate these or anything, just know that you need about half of that paste. But I'm going to show you how I actually save it for the card later. So we've got these collection of like flying bats, and so I'm going to put this on 2 parts of this tag, and I love that it's lighter and it's kind of a yellowy orange once I get it blended on here, and I think that looks really good against that dark orange and black background. Okay, for the next tag, let's add some spiders to this. I love this stencil because it's got 3 separate images on it and it's so spooky and I love it. So I'm going to add 3 spiders at the top of this tag, and so there's one large one. I'm going to do another large one off to the side. And then I was like, oh, I need a small one. But my stencil was actually going to cover it. So I just held my stencil above it and stenciled at the top, which you'll see here in just a second. And I'm just making sure everything lines up nice and easy. Spreading my Distress Grit Paste, this translucent. I also have white that I really like to use for snow, but this was perfect because you could color it and it was not opaque. So it just, I don't know, super awesome. So there's my little spider, but you can see how I'm holding my stencil up so I don't smush down my large spider. Okay, for the last one, let's add a bunch of these flying bats at the top. And then I'm going to use some plastic wrap to put on top of my distress paste because I realize I want to use that for my card and I don't want it to get dry. So that's how that's going to work. Okay, so now we've got the cute little tea mug or coffee mug and the little platter. I'm going to stamp these with just the black soot. No, with just black ink. I'm sorry. Regular black ink. And then I'm going to use the coordinating dies to die cut this out. Now, something I didn't love was that, you know, when you die cut, you've got your little white frame around, which in real life doesn't actually bother me. But for this card, I did not want anything like stark white. So you guys will see how I'm going to fix that in just a little bit. But I need 3 of these, so I'm just going to flip my paper around in my MISTI, ink them up, put my lid down, and just stamp my images. And then I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to turn my paper sideways because I was feeling really lazy and I didn't want to have to cut apart my cardstock. So this is just how you do that when you feel lazy. So I'm going to finish inking that up, and then like I said, I'm going to use the coordinating dies to die cut these out. Again, this is the Witch's Brew from Papertrey Ink. They really have some awesome stuff. Their stuff is so different, and I just absolutely love it, and I could not wait to get my hands on this whole set. Then we have the little brooms that are like your stir sticks. So I am going to stamp 3 of those, and I am using Distress Oxide ink in Gathered Twigs. And so I'm just going to flip these around because these also have coordinating dies, and we want to die cut these as well. So I'm just going to ink those up, and I'm just wiping it down so I can move the stamp set and not get like smudges all over my paper. Okay, so here's the coordinating dies for that. I'm going to tape that in place and then run that through my die cut machine. I'm just using some low tack tape from Heffy Doodle. And then we are going to, this is where I was like, you know, I don't like the white. So this is where I decided I have to do something different. But before I got to that, I want to stamp the little like star smoke coming out, and I'm using Villainous Potion. And I'm just stamping over that dried grit paste. Like, it totally worked. It didn't even cause a problem. So I didn't care. I liked that everything overlapped, because when I look at like distressed mixed media, that's what you see, kind of everything overlaps. Okay, so I'm just using the Crackling Campfire to ink blend over my stamped images, and that completely gets rid of that white frame around your die cut images. I'm also going to do it for the brooms. I kept it a little bit lighter on the brooms. I definitely tapped off some of that ink because I don't want to change how brown the brooms are. Then I'm using Distress Oxide Spray in the Crackling Campfire and Black Soot. I also did this on my tags, but I totally forgot to show you guys. But you guys will see that later on the card. So I'm just going to do my little splatters all over the whole background because I love that distressed look. It just makes things look grungy and dirty. Okay, let's put these tags together. So foam tape behind the cup, just liquid glue behind the little saucer, and I'm going to line that up right above the sentiments. But look at how great these tags look. Look at how fun and distressed that is. And I love that things are peeking out behind other things. Like when you get the cups on here, just those grit paste images are peeking out. I absolutely love it. And that little bit of purple, it's not like overly done because the background is so dark. So I think that turned out fantastic too. Then we need to tuck in the cute little brooms. At first I thought I was going to put it across the cup, but I found out on the third one I liked something better, and so I just went with that for all 3 tags. So everything's the same, obviously, except for the sentiment at the bottom, which I think is really, really cute. So let's tuck these brooms in underneath, and isn't that fun? And I like that it kind of hangs off the edge. We're going to layer these tags, though, with that spider piece tag, that large one. We're going to layer these. So there's 3 tags that are going to be layered on top of each other, and it turned out really, really awesome. So I'm using just a little bit of liquid glue because I feel like that's going to hold the best, especially because part of these brooms are over some of that grit paste. Okay, so now I want to stamp some more sentiments on those little black tags. I originally thought I would do white embossing powder, but I felt like it was going to be too bright. So I actually brought in Hero Arts Unicorn white ink, and I'm just going to stamp it that way because it almost looks like chalk and it's kind of dulled down. So this sentiment says, "Have a spooky good Halloween." This is the Just Sentiments Spooky from Papertrey Ink. Then I have From Our Patch to Yours. And then this one says, treat yourself today and always. So I think these are totally perfect for giving treats to your family or to your neighbors or something like that. So let's finish with this last one. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. And this is the one that says from our patch to yours. And I'm just going to do that a couple times. And then we've got our tags. Okay, so this is lawn trimmings from Lawn Fawn. It's like a black, orange, and white, which totally goes perfect with this. So I want to have a little bit of adhesive behind the orange one. So I'm just going to put that in place and then line up the circles at the top. Then I can take the small black ones and line those up at the top as well, but those are going to be on an angle, and I'm also going to add some glue behind these because I actually don't want these to fall down and cover up my image. So I'll just use a little bit of liquid glue. I'm going to put some of that lawn trimmings from Lawn Fawn in there. I did start with that tape runner, but it didn't hold, so I did bring in the liquid glue. And I'm going to put it through and then tie a little knot at the top. But look at how fun that is. I love these so much. They turned out way better than I thought they were going to turn out because I just don't feel like this is in my wheelhouse at all. But I will say I really took my time with it and just thought about the different layers of what I see when I see other mixed media like distress artists, especially the ones that work with Tim Holtz products. Their stuff is so amazing. And so I just really paid attention to people's layers and thought, okay, I think I can do it. So I think these turned out pretty good. Okay, I'm going to tie this last knot, and then you guys, we can get going on this card. So I had some of that leftover pattern paper. I'm going to distress that with the black soot on all sides. I will trim this down because it's going to be an A2 size card. So I'm going to trim that down just a little bit and then finish ink blending on this side. I have the same orange cardstock. This is Tangy Orange from Cardstock Warehouse, bringing in that black soot, really, again, not being neat about it because I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to look kind of grungy. And then I can adhere, excuse me, let's do the splattering that you guys did not see on the tags because I forgot to record it. But here is that crackling Campfire Distress Oxide spray, and then the black soot is going to go over top. And I did just dry this with my heat tool because I was ready to finish this card, and so I didn't want to wait around for it. I decided to bring in more black soot once this was adhered. I adhered that piece at the bottom, and I stamped the large coffee cup, ink blended it with the same Crackling Campfire. This is part of that Witch's Brew stamp set, but it's like you get 2 stamp sets in it. So this is the big one. There is a big set of stars. I will say I wish I wouldn't have done this way because I forgot I wanted to stamp another sentiment above. So I stamped in the Villainous Potion these stars above. I wish I wouldn't have done that there because I do want to stamp a sentiment later. But I did it anyways and it's totally fine, but I think that's the only thing I would have changed. Okay, so let's use that same Whimsy Stamps Stencil Halloween Creatures. I love these flying bats, so this is what I'm going to use again. And I'm going to put it in 3 spots just kind of off the edges. I'm going to do 1 more at the bottom because it felt a little uneven. But as you can see, that texture paste sat there for a good long time covered up and it completely worked. But I did go wash everything after I was done. In that bigger stamp set, this, instead of a broom, you have this like little magical stick with a moon and stars. I stamped that with purple, orange, and a little bit of black soot. And then I blended it out with the Crackling Campfire. Let's stamp our sentiment on this big card. It says 31 Brewing Company, established 1901. I think it's so cute. I did that in the same unicorn ink, but I did make sure that my black ink on this cup image was completely dry. But I also took precautions. I inked up my stamp set, then I washed the stamp off just in case it pulled any black ink off. I don't want to contaminate my white, nice white ink pad. So I cleaned it off and stamped it 1 more time. But look at how good that looks. Okay, so here's the other sentiment. This is from the Just Sentiments Spooky. It says Happy Halloween. I loved the font of it, so that's why I really wanted to use it, but it gets a little muddled over the stars. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So that's why I would have changed the star thing. I think I would have moved everything down a little bit, done the stars, and then put the sentiment over the top. Okay, so let's glue this. So again, foam tape behind the cup. not behind the saucer. I'm also going to bring in more of that lawn trimmings from Lawn Fawn. I really wanted the card to absolutely have all of the same elements for the most part from the tags. I think the only, well, no, I guess it does have the element. I was thinking the little black tag, but I do have that black sentiment at the top. So everything kind of fits together, and you have this great matching set. So you could go to a party and give this card to the host and then have one of the tags on all the little goodies that you bring. So I cut this long enough that I could wrap it around 3 times and kind of on an angle, crisscrossing over each other. And then I'm just going to tie a little bit in the back and then use some purple tape to put that in place, because this is going to be adhered to a white A2 size card base. So I'm going to tape that in back, and then we can tuck in that cute little stir stick, that little moon and stars stir stick. And I'm going to tuck that in underneath those that cute little twine. A little bit of foam tape behind the top, and then I'm going to tuck that in. And then I can show you guys everything. Look at how great this card looks. Look at that stencil paste, the ink, the distressing. I just love it. And then these tags are absolutely my favorite. I love how they turned out. I love that spider pattern paper. The cups, the everything, the sentiments are fantastic on these. I hope you guys enjoyed this project because I had so much fun making it. So thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.